Play guitar and riding trucks and being doctors and such. Welcome back to Post Projects, and finally back to Project 818 SRX. This will be my first time working on the car in 2020, and my first time working on the car since I got the inspection and the car registered back in October. The car is still covered in oil from my little escapade. Unfortunately, the bottom is all oil, this whole side. Lots of cleaning to do, but the body's going to be coming off, so I'll clean it then. But I'll get into that in a second. Today, before I start taking any body work off, or getting into the bodywork side, I want to mount the wing. I want to get this part done and finished. This is the last big fabrication project. Not that it's that big, because most of it's already done. So this would probably be a good place for a commercial, you know. Hey, metal supermarkets, right? No, I'm obviously not at that level with the channel, but I would appreciate a like, a subscribe, maybe ring that bell so you know in 6 months that I've got a new video out and you remember who I am. Yeah, let's get into it. So this is the APR GT-300 wing that I ordered with the car 6 years ago. Been sitting in a cardboard box ever since. I took it out for some pictures a couple of years ago. Otherwise, you know, it's never been out. So it's mint, it's beautiful. It's not as wide as the car, but that's okay. The car is really wide. It actually lines up pretty nicely with the little body line in the wheel arch. So this is what you get when you order from Factory 5. I don't know if they're offering anything right now for supporting it. It just comes with these standard ones, the standard stanchions, I think they're called, or supports. And then they got these little rubber pads and a little bracket for mounting it. Obviously, mounting it to a fiberglass body is a shitty idea. Mounting it to a steel or aluminum trunk lid is also a stupid idea, unless you have support structure tied in tight underneath. So then that could work. I still don't like the idea of it. There are some options, I believe. I don't know if there's any bolt-on options. I think there's a kit, you know, you can weld it up. Maybe they offer a welded version. Don't know. Search the forums. Somebody makes something. I'm going to make all my own, as I typically do. So as it sits now, it's too low. It needs to come up a fair bit to get into the airflow. And just to represent that, I have my 6 foot level here. So this is coming off the windshield, but that's not a straight line. And I don't know, I think I want to go over the assumption that it's going to hit this, come up a little bit, and not suck back down in time to hit the wing. So if we sit this level, even assuming that it goes back level, we're still at this height. We're still only just kissing. Oh, actually, we probably would just come flush to here if the level was long enough. So I want to get it up. I would like to think this is about 2 inches. I want to get the leading edge of this about there. And then back as far as possible. If I put it to about right there, then I would be level with my diffuser on the bottom. So that's kind of where I want it to sit. So in order to get it there, I actually did go to Metal Supermarket, not a paid sponsor, and I grabbed some 1/4 inch aluminum. Then Metal Supermarket is generally expensive per square foot versus buying from an actual metal supply store where you would have to buy full sheets. But they do have those scrap bins, and we're just paying by the weight, and you can get something quite affordable. So that's where I got that. So I'm gonna rip that in half. They'll be about 8 inches wide, and then let's have a look inside at what I've already built. Okay, So I've already got this aluminum frame. I'm sure we've seen it off the car. If I have an easy picture I can find, I'll show you. But this is all aluminum. This tubing, this bolts to the, I guess you call it a strut tower bar. It's the support bar that goes, links in the back, like the cross member. It's curved to the body line. And then it has these adjustable aluminum swag tubes. So it ties directly into the frame, can easily support my weight, and I don't expect the downforce to exceed my weight. Certainly not right now, until I get far more aggressive with the front splitter. So the plan is to just tie it into the sides of this, so they'll slide down in here. These are probably about 2 inches, so that should offer a little bit of wiggle support because of the long stanchions. And we'll see what else it might need. Maybe it'll need a little bit more support where I could extend that down further or have to do some type of cross bracing. But let's get it where we want it and then see how stable it is. Okay, so the first thing you're probably thinking is, holy shit, that's high. Why would he have it that high? I'm not going to put it that high. I just can't go down anymore until I'm hitting stuff. I'll probably go down so that the bottom of this is level with here, and that puts the bottom of this 2 inches above the windshield. The APR wing is kind of it's an odd one where it's got the twisted deck, and this at 0, I guess still puts these at 15. I got to look at those numbers on the APR website first and figure out exactly what angle of attack it should be at. However, we're right in the middle of the adjustments. I just copied, as you've seen, the holes on the APR brackets, and obviously I can modify it more if I need it to be different than that. Right now the wing is sitting just about level with the back. So it is, I did level the car out, by the way. The wing is, I would say, 3/8 of an inch back, so I can always move a little forward. I like the idea of the two of them just lining up. I'll get you a shot of that in a second. The other thing that I was worried about is the thickness of material and what I should use and if it's going to be rigid. But just with those clamps, we're not bolted. Like, she can't tip her back, it's only clamped one side, but side to side she's pretty good, and she's not clamped on the front, so Yeah, I got to drop her down a couple of, well, I'll make some marks, drop her down a couple inches, and then I can drill some holes, and that's kind of it. Besides the fiberglass, I'll have to figure that out. Yeah, but we're close. Continuity alert! It's the next day. I also got a haircut. So this is the height that I think I want it at. Obviously, testing on track will determine any changes in the future, but I think this is a good starting point. If I were to put my level back on, coming straight back from the windshield, we're about 2 inches from the bottom of this to the windshield. So we should be up in the airflow. I do have plans, probably next winter, to maybe redo the roll hoop, put it up a little higher so it's level with the windshield, maybe even some bars going forward. So we're just going to assume everything coming back almost like a roof. I may even put a little panel on the top or a soft top. So we want it up here. The only thing left to do now is, as you can see, I got extra material up here. That's because I just started with straight 8-inch pieces and wasn't sure how it was all going to play out. So you might be able to see a line I got that'll taper that off. I've got a line here as well, but I don't think I want, it would be down to 6 inches and it would just be a parallel. I kind of like the tapered look. So I'm actually going to just notch around this hardware here, and I'll probably just bring this right out flush to here, and then there won't be the two body seams matching back here. This will just go right to the edge of the rear bumper, because I still need to come back about 1 1/8 inches, because now that I've gone down a little bit, it's also gone in. So now I've got to bring the whole thing back, because I like the idea of the tail end of the wing lining up with the diffuser on the bottom. So now I'm going to do a little more trimming, and then hopefully only one more test fit, and then we'll start drilling some holes, and then we can look at the bodywork. For the sake of continuity, it's been another 3 weeks. I got called away for work, and now I'm back working on it. Got everything trimmed up, as you would have just seen in that little time lapse. She's quite rigid. At some point I might want to do cutouts on the sides, but I'd rather test it before I start getting into the prettiness of it all. I've got my cut line here. The wing is high enough so that my fear of having to cut this and make it 3 panels is no more. It will easily fold down with just some slots cut. I am worried about the panels being a little bit of a flip-floppy here, and especially this center one being loose, and I'm worried about this area cracking. So I took a piece of stainless steel TIG filler metal. I'm going to glue it all the way around. I think glue will be good enough. I don't think I'll need to cloth and resin it, but I'll cut it and then address that, and if I need to, then I can always still epoxy it after. While I'm working on this and gluing, I'm going to address mounting my 0 decibel Motorsports vent. That's going to require studs epoxied on the inside, because that one mounts from underneath, just like the ones on the hood will. And now to see how it fits. You can see here I've got the studs put on for the vent, which I'll mount later. I'll have it bolted to the hinges, and something like that. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty happy with it. It's quite rigid. I don't think it'll serve the purpose. Again, I wouldn't mind doing some form of cutouts, maybe similar style to the rear bumper, but I'll see how it all functions first before I get into that. I'd also like to make as I mentioned before, I'd like to make a wing mount for this wing that sits down real low and almost back, possibly even back far enough that I can still swing that up, almost using it like a duckbill. But again, not getting there yet. That's just for looking pretty. This will serve its purpose. The only thing left for me to do on this is I'm going to mount the hinges. I'll bolt up my vent and make sure everything is good on that, because when I put this panel back on, it'll be wrapped in vinyl next. The other thing I want to do is these quick connects are a pain in the ass. So I push on it, and like getting it up is not easy. What I've been doing is pushing down on it and then pushing up from inside, but once I put a grill on the inside, that's not really going to work. I think it's just the awkward angle that it's on. It's just that the panel almost needs to be folded over a bit onto the pin. I think in the traditional application they work great, because a lot of guys really like them. They were highly recommended by lots of people, but I don't think they work good for this application. I could use the standard hood pins, but I'm not a big fan of that look. In fact, I think I'm going to get rid of them on the front and probably just go with the aero catch on the front. So in the back, what I'm going to do is just these little quarter turn Zeus fasteners. So it'll just be a little turn, it'll pop up, be super easy. You can get them in black. The car is going to be wrapped in a dark color, I'm not sure which, but these should kind of just blend in. I think that'll be my solution. One of the guys on the forum had a fire, had these style, couldn't get the panels off, ended up just ripping it in order to get in there with an extinguisher. So I think I'm going to get rid of those. Pretty neat. Anyone wants to buy them off me. Well, that wraps it up for this video. I'm sure somehow it's still 25 minutes long. I can't seem to make a short video because I like to stand here and talk. If you like what I'm doing, hit the like button, hit subscribe, make a comment, and give me some feedback. Follow me on Instagram at popes_projects. And yeah, hopefully you guys see this video soon. It doesn't take me too long to get the editing done. Next up is pulling the body off. So that's actually a pretty cool time-lapse video for once. So until next time, peace.